After we manage to set up the project template, the next step is to set up the data. When working with local files, setting up the data entails two steps: adding the datasets to the data directory and registering the datasets to the data catalog. As we mentioned in the beginning, for the Spaceflights tutorial, our goal is to train a model that will predict the price of a shuttle hire in a hypothetical scenario where we use shuttles to travel to the moon and back. We rely on three different files: files that contains reviews, files that contains the companies, and the files that contains information about the shuttles. The reviews and companies files are both CSVs, while the shuttles files is an Excel file. To start, we download all of these files as instructed by the documentation and place them within the data directory. We create a folder called 01 raw. This follows our data engineering convention for naming different datasets based on the step we are at in the entire data science pipeline. The documentation offers several alternatives for collecting the data using either curl or using wget, either on Unix or on Windows. The second step for setting up the data is registering the datasets. By convention, all Kedro projects have a conf-base-catalog.yaml file, where you usually register all the datasets that you're using within your project. Within the file, you have entries for each individual dataset that contains the file location, the parameters for a given dataset, the type of data, and also if you happen to use versioning. With Kedro, you can rely on various types of datasets and data sources. You're not restricted just to local CSVs and Excel files, but you can also work with JSONs. You can also read all of these file types from, say, an object store like Amazon S3, and you can also have your datasets stored within a database or data warehouse, such as Redshift. The data catalog makes it easy to declare and use datasets within a standardized way, regardless of the data type that you're using, regardless of the source where they're stored. Under the hood, Kedro uses FSS spec in order to read the data from different data source and file types. Let's review how we would declare our CSV files. For the companies file, we just create a companies entry with the type pandas CSV dataset and the file path towards the local file. For reviews, we do similarly. We introduce a review section with the type pandas CSV dataset and the respective file path. If we want to check that we have properly declared our datasets, we can use the Kedro Console by running Kedro iPython, and we can run companies equal catalog.load companies and use the head function because the companies will be stored in an actual pandas data frame. Essentially, the way all of this works is that once we've declared our datasets in the data catalog, Kedro knows where to look for these files and knows how to read them and afterwards store them within a pandas data frame. So at the end of the day, we can use each individual dataset as a normal pandas data frame without requiring us to know within our application where the specific file is located, how is it stored, where is it stored. We just can refer to it by its name. So in this case, companies or reviews. Let's have an actual demonstration of this. We'll copy our configuration for the data catalog. We go within conf-base-catalog. We paste our configuration. Now let's download our raw data. Now we have all our files available in our data repository. Let's run the Kedro iPython console. Let's load companies. Now let's see what we have read. Companies.head. And as you can see, we've already read the data. So this is how you can load some data using the data catalog. Let's exit the console. Now say we are working with an Excel file. The way we declare this is simply declaring the shuttles, so the name of the dataset. We declare the data type. In this case it's different. It's an Excel dataset as opposed to a CSV dataset. And again, we introduce the file path. The way we load the data, it's pretty similar to the way we do it with CSV files. Again, we don't need to know about the type or the format in which the file is stored or the data is stored. After we declare the data within the data catalog, we can just refer to it by a unique name. So let's declare our shuttles file and our shuttles dataset. Let's install this package so that we can work with the Excel files. Let's install this package as well. For the Kedro installation that you're using, you just have to include this configuration. I also need to include these additional parameters, load args, and also to change the engine that Pandas is using to load the Excel data. Once you have that, let's start the console. Let's load the Shuttles dataset. Should take a while. All good. Now let's have a look at this dataset head. shuttles.shape. And this is how you load the Shuttles dataset as well. Now, as mentioned before, with Kedro, you can use various types of datasets and data sources, and you can use the data catalog in order to declare them and specify how you want to load them, how you want to name them. There is an extensive documentation within Kedro about how you can use custom datasets. I encourage you to have a look. If you want to stay in touch and receive notification whenever I release new videos related to data science, machine learning, AI, please click that subscribe button and also hit the notification bell if you want to get notifications as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching this video and see you soon.